on the road, you see them selling tickets of what? You understand? All these things need to be taken care of.
But I thought that's,
it has not.
I thought that's part of what they want to address when they say they're going to streamline them. So it's not going to be like you're being taxed in multiple ways, so that more businesses can come into the country.
How are they going to streamline it while those multiple taxations are in state and local government? And this tax reform that move from inland revenue to Nigerian Revenue Service, how are they going to streamline it? You understand? That's where the issue is. You understand? They have done their best. That's only what they can do. When you come back to what they meant by streamlining it is now payment of tax from custom, NIMASA, and other tax agencies is now consolidated under the National Revenue Service. That's former inland revenue.
Yes.
You understand?
Very well.
So they thought it will, or they project, or they think that it is going to improve business, or it is going to harmonize the taxation, the incoming taxation. Now, when you do that, I don't have any issue with consolidating it to National Revenue Service. When you say custom should not be paid, this one should not be paid, the NIMASA should not collect. Now, the base now is Nigerian Revenue Service or National Revenue Service. Olamide, let me tell Nigerians something. You see, you will never, no country ever improve business by borrowing and taxing their citizens. You can't be borrowing.
So what about
taxing in your
because
business?
We see that most developed nations, they don't joke with taxes.
Because they establish businesses. You understand? They have the businesses. Nigeria, we don't have the businesses. In Africa, we don't have the businesses. In Africa, Nigeria will say, we have the market. When you import, we buy. You understand? But there is in other side, when you borrow, you understand, not to invest in the infrastructure that will bring the economy, you understand, and the businesses. You borrow to sponsor some certain things that you think it will like null fund, like what they call it, like subsidy, like other things.
Just give me a minute. Let's quickly take this call. Hello, good morning. Good morning. You're welcome to the press. Please tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Okay, my name is Solomon. I'm calling from.
All right, Mr. Solomon, please join the conversation this morning.
Yeah. What I want to contribute from this program.
Okay.
You know, we know that our president is a tax person.
Yes.
Everybody know that one. I stayed in Lagos when he was the governor, so I know that Tinubu is a tax person. But what I'm saying is that if they're going to this tax out, they can use the money for Nigeria. Let them use it for our roads and the road infrastructure in Nigeria.
Okay.
Like the way we is using it in the FCC now. If they use the money very well, people will not complain.
Okay.
The issue is that they will let us not pay the tax. They will not use the money and fill their pocket. That's just the problem we're having in Nigeria. In advanced countries, the main thing they use is tax. They don't use all this our oil and all this that we're using here. Even the poor people gain from the tax that the rich pay in advanced countries. That's how it is done. So that's by the way. Then another thing I want to contribute is about this Subara visit to the villa. to the president at the meeting.
Yes.
If you look at what happened, we thank God for the peace that they have come to the, because they don't have the peace there.
So you think peace has been restored?
Can gain their democracy.
All right.
Then another thing is that let them not. I know that the way it's going on now, maybe they will tell him to defect to APC. He is expecting that. So we don't know what they are holding. But so we know that very soon we will see him defecting to APC. Anyhow, they want to be, let them do it. But let the people have peace and have a good governor. That's what I'm talking about.
Thank you very much, Solomon. We appreciate you. Thank you so much for your contribution.
Yeah.
I don't want us to delve into the political aspect of this conversation here because I know it's quite an interesting discourse. Let's wrap up first of all on this issue of this taxation thing, because now I'm beginning to think, if the goal is to make sure that everything is streamlined, so are you not seeing any sort of hope for businesses, hope for the common man? Because if businesses can now come in and they know that they will not be multiply taxed as against the way it used to be, it means that they can now come in and make investments in Nigeria, and possibly there could now be openings for jobs for the youth. We have more graduates every day. Some people are even still in camp right now, probably planning that as soon as they leave their camping grounds, they'll be getting place of assignments, and from there they'll probably get staffed after their youth service. There are people looking for jobs everywhere. So do you think that there's no really headway with this new tax law that's going to be signed and taking effect 1st January?
Alami, they tell me which company or private company that will employ the youth corps you are talking about with this kind of tax, corporate tax. It can work, you understand, but I cannot say it cannot work in future. You understand, but as for now, we are not there yet. Maybe in the next 10 years, then we'll start seeing how it will work. You understand, or it has started working, because our economy is in a bad shape. You understand? We don't produce, we don't manufacture. You understand?
Absolutely.
And we don't export. We import. Our economy depends on import. We are only traders now. And those foreign investors that people think, the government think they will come. They are not coming.
Some are even leaving.
Some are leaving. We have seen closure everywhere. You understand? Yeah. Today, Nigerians should wake up and start investing in Nigeria, because the highest investor today in Nigeria are Nigerians.
Of course.
We don't have that foreign investment base in Nigeria anymore. All those who are investing in Nigeria are Nigerians. You take from Dangote to Otedola to Mike Adenuga to Bua Abdusamad and so on and so forth. You count millions of them, you understand, are Nigerians business owners. You understand? Mm-hmm. They are the one investing. No foreign investors. We have seen how many has packed out, has closed down. So congratulations to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He has signed 4 out of it.
I think we should say we have a tax-centered president who's very optimistic that this is going to work. Let's put our fingers crossed.
I hope it will work when the state government now also implement their own.
Absolutely.
You understand? Mm-hmm. But honestly, multiple taxation need to be checked and closed down. You understand? Yeah. You can't be charged paying tax on daily basis. Those developed economies that are putting tax or taxing their corporations, you understand, is because they have everything. You understand? Mm-hmm. There is good transportation system, there is reliable electricity.
Well, we won't keep comparing ourselves with them because honestly, I feel like they're advanced and we are a growing nation.
And you see sometimes when their economy is down, they cut tax. You understand?
Yes.
When their economy is stable, they now increase tax. But our own...
We're definitely going to get there.
We hope so, inshallah.
Yes, we'll definitely get there. We believe in Nigeria and we believe in the progress.
But stop borrowing.
Okay.
So that...
Let's quickly take some other stories. This is pretty interesting, and I want us to take it before we get to leave. Caller mentioned it. Now, on the front page of the Matrix newspaper, we have President Tinubu, a picture of President Tinubu and Fubara, left and right. President Tinubu and Governor Simlai Fubara, as well as Minister of FCT, Wike. And we have President Tinubu on Thursday, June 26th, yesterday, 2025, met with suspended Governor Simlai Fubara of Rivers State and the Federal Capital Territory Minister Nyesom Wike at the State House, Abuja. What do you think this means? Is this peace at last, or what do you think it means?
You know, if I were Fubara,
okay,
I would look at two things. Tinubu is elected, I'm elected.
Sure.
And you don't have power to suspend me, but you use force to suspend me.
But Tinubu is not the first person that is declaring a state of emergency in the state. What happened when President Olusegun Obasanjo did? Yeah,
but the National Assembly has illegalized it and returned Dari to the government house. You understand? I think that's the only state of emergency that were declared in Nigeria. The second one is during President Jonathan, when he declared partial state of emergency. He has not removed governors. He has not stopped government from working. He has not stopped administration from working. He did not impose sole administrator from the state government to one.
So you're saying the executive power is slightly limited?
It's just like a coup. The president did coup in River State because River State don't have the state assembly to appropriate, to make law for them. So who is going to make law for them? The day before yesterday, I think it was on Wednesday, I saw, it's in the news, that the National Assembly has passed a River State budget.
Through the sole administrator.
Through the sole administrator. You understand?
Very well.
So now a sole administrator will sit down and spend the money of the people of River State. Well, he's not from River State. You understand? He's from another neighboring state. We don't have problem with that. You understand? But the issue is, as a Democrat, as a progressive, I think Tinubu overshoots I don't know, his political ideology.
What do you think he
in
could
the
have
sense
done
that
in a state where things have been going on and on for so long?
You see, it's a political crisis between two major factions.
Okay.
You understand? And the two major factions are in the same political party. They are not in different political party. You understand? Fubara and Wike are all in PDP.
Yes.
Now, in Lagos State, it happens, the same political crisis where a speaker was removed, you understand, was impeached, and crisis erupted. He maintained he's still the speaker. The state assembly elected another speaker. You understand?
Very well.
And the same state of the president now organize for reconciliation. And the impeached state speaker was returned while the new elected speaker was removed. You understand? And be replaced by the impeached one. You understand? That's how to solve a crisis politically. You understand? If you said there is insecurity in Rivers State, tell me, when did the president went to Rivers State to see the crisis, the level of insecurity? Who assessed the level of insecurity? Can you compare the level of insecurity in Rivers State with Benue, Plateau, Zamfara, Katsina, Sokoto, Kebbi, and Kaduna, Borno State? Can you compare it? So why will you decide just to wake up and take a side and suspend the whole democratic the whole democratic structure of the state, right from the governor to state assembly to the local government chairman and to the local councils? You understand? That's the whole structure, the whole democratic structure. And you call yourself a Democrat when it's only judiciary that is left with what?
Okay, but Mr. Gajo, right?
So for Fubara to go there, I think, well, it should have sent the elders, not for him to go. I'm not in support of him going, but since they shook hand and they snapped picture with the president, then fine. Well, you understand? We hope peace will come, like the caller who said, yes, maybe soon you will see him decamping to
Mr. Gajo,
APC.
Before we go, I want you to say something around this. Whilst I know that the president cannot actually suspend the state governor, I know it is well within his power, according to the constitution, but it's still well within his power to be able to appoint a sole administrator for a state, actually. But that on the side, the second thing I wanted to notice, do you think that it's the same pattern of unrest in River State that is happening in these other states that you've mentioned? Because these ones are
that is why
cases of terrorism and the likes, and this one is like unrest in the state.
How did you call
amongst
it?
The citizens.
Do they call it unrest?
I'm trying to state that when they seem different to you.
Quote unquote, they said an economic terrorism, blowing out oil facilities that has never been blown. We have never seen it. The bomb that were bombed during Lekagama election was in the APC headquarters, River State. You understand?
Very well.
So there is no any form of terrorism or insecurity that got out of hand of the security agencies. You understand? Like I said, when Obasanjo he suspended only the governor. He has not suspended the democratic institutions.
All right.
You understand? The deputy governor was there. The state assembly were there. The local government chairman and councillors were there. It's only Joshua Darie that was suspended. Now, in this case, the reason why you see I'm talking like this or I'm hammering it hard is because it is a democratic institutions that are being harmed. You understand? And we cannot tolerate this kind of democratic destruction in future.
All right.
You understand? You can't be claiming that you fought the military, you are pro-democrat, and you are destroying democracy in the other hand. So it can work. All right,
but in a nutshell, do you believe that this has been resolved or not?
It has not. It has not been resolved, and it will never be resolved until those democratic institutions were brought back. You understand? Now you have suspended a governor, and when his tenure came to an end, and when he said, "No, I still have another 6 months," what will the court say?
It's always go to court kind of case. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Habib.
You're
Thank you so much for your
welcome.
time today. We really appreciate you. All right, viewers, let's go on a quick break. When we return and bring you the next guest for something pretty much interesting. Please stay with us.
I have a dream that one day.
Do you also have a dream in filmmaking, just like others? From the classroom to playing lead roles alongside industry professionals.
Where are you from?
Madagascar.
I am the law.
The whole setup is rather.
Tomorrow, it is an order. Stand down.
Join our strictly practical filmmaking summer camp masterclass 3.0 as you'll be filming directly from set, learning hands-on from industry pros on acting, cinematography, drone piloting, TV and podcast presenting, directing, and many more. From the 7th to the 22nd of July 2025 for 120,000 Naira, for early birds 100,000 Naira. To register, click the link below or call the numbers 0703 084 0298 or 0802 344 7703, or visit our social media handles at Kaftan Idea Box Creative Academy and at Smeden Idea Fame Academy.
I have a dream that one day.
Do you also have a dream in filmmaking, just like others? From the classroom to playing lead roles alongside industry professionals.
Where are you from?
Madagascar.
I am the law.
The whole setup is rather.
Tomorrow, it is an order. Stand down.
Join our strictly practical filmmaking summer camp masterclass 3.0 as you'll be filming directly from set, learning hands-on from industry pros on acting, cinematography, drone piloting, TV and podcast presenting, directing, and many more. From the 7th to the 22nd of July 2025 for 120,000 Naira, for early birds 100,000 Naira. To register, click the link below or call the numbers 0703 084 0298 or 0802 344 7703, or visit our social media handles at Kaftan Idea Box Creative Academy and at Smeden Idea Fame Academy.
I have a dream that one day.
Do you also have a dream in filmmaking, just like others? From the classroom to playing lead roles alongside industry professionals.
Where are you from?
Madagascar.
I am the law.
The whole setup is rather...
Tomorrow, it is an order. Stand down.
Join our Strictly Practical Filmmaking Summer Camp Masterclass 3.0 as you will be filming directly from set, learning hands-on from industry pros on acting, cinematography, drone piloting, TV and podcast presenting, directing, and many more. From the 7th to the 22nd of July 2025 for 120,000 Naira, for early birds 100,000 Naira. To register, click the link below or call the numbers 0703 084 0298 or 0802 344 7703, or visit our social media handles at Kaftan Idea Box Creative Academy and at Smith & Idea Fame Academy.
Casting.
Our mission is simple: to project Africa in a truthful yet positive manner.
Wait, we're coming to you in style.
Here we are, starting from September.
Look at what the facts are.
And as you say on Captain TV, imagine a beautiful world.
In the beginning, God created a beautiful world.
3, 2, 1. Action.
And that's why, at KAFTAN Television,
we imagine a beautiful world.
We are not just bragging.
we blaze the trail in broadcasting. And it is about you.
At KAFTAN TV, broadcasting is not just about information, education, and entertainment.
It's an aggregation of all you need to know in Nigeria
And around the world to create signal.
At KAFTAN Television, we have all it takes to be on top in broadcasting.
Our mission is simple: to project Africa in a truthful yet positive manner.
Wait, we're coming to you in style.
Here we are, starting from September.
Look at what the facts are.
And as you say on KAFTAN TV, imagine a beautiful world.
Welcome back, viewers. You're still on To The Press, watching you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. We've now been joined by our guest. Our guest is a remarkable young woman who carried Nigeria's name to the international stage at Miss Aura in Turkey. She's a seasoned journalist and broadcaster, an embodiment of many talents, and a philanthropist. She was crowned Miss Aura International Peace Ambassador, a title that reflects purpose, strength, and vision. Let's hear her story of representation, resilience, and using beauty as a voice for peace. And so let's make welcome Miss Aura International Peace Ambassador, Mercy Babachide. Hello. It feels weird actually welcoming you to your own studio. Let's not get into that, please. Congratulations, girl.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
How was it for you? You know, getting from the stage in Nigeria, winning the crown here, and representing Nigeria on that global stage. How did that make you feel?
Well, firstly, I'll say it was a dream come true, or it is. It's not in past tense. I'm still reliving most of the moments. It was a dream come true. And I would say it shows how much strength I have. I'm someone that feels like people should not talk too much about themselves. They should allow people brag about them. But then going to Turkey just made me realize how much resilience I have in me, because I'd just like to rush it, given from when my visa was denied a week to when I was supposed to travel, how the Minister of Arts and Culture came through, how I don't know how that happened. In less than 24 hours I needed to be in Turkey. And I'm sure most people don't know, I had barely 3 weeks to prepare.
Wow.
Yeah, barely 3 weeks to prepare, get all the outfits together, my costumes and everything. And my team, they were just so impeccable. I cannot even begin to talk how much they helped me, because trust me, there's too many things happening behind the scenes, and then everybody just sees the beautiful pictures and the catwalk and all of that, and then the intelligence round, but then there was just too much work that needed to happen behind the scene. But then I'm grateful, and especially the fact that I wasn't expecting so much support, but I got too much support from Nigerians. I mean, you were part of that. You guys supported me, and it feels like, you know that what they use, Nigeria, they carry last.
Exactly. I was going to tell you that I think it's part of us to always want to support our own. But talking about representation now, you know, there was something astonishing about every single of your outfits on that stage, because I was streaming and I wanted to really see how everything was going to end. And I'm very happy that you're back home with a crown.
Thank you.
But let's talk about that traditional costume that you wore.
It looks like that traditional outfit is going to be.
It was... it got a lot of people like, wow. It got a lot of people thrilled, like, what's going on? What's with this outfit? What brought about that inspiration? Because I don't think I've ever seen that anywhere.
Okay, I would like to say shout out to Dennis first, because Dennis did a great job, and not just Dennis, my entire team. So I'm someone that tries so much to tell a story with every of my outfits. My preliminary dress was made with 5,000 coral beads, and that's me going indigenous. Matter of fact, if you had asked me, I would have probably used this ago or one adire or something to actually make my outfit. But then, speaking about my national costume, I wanted something that had twins in it. Speaking about Mary Slessor, of course, she ended the killing of twins, and that has gone a long way in our today Nigeria. And then, speaking about the culture, we of course have this place, Ibora, I think in Oyo State, where they said every family has twins, or I think everybody has just twins over and over again. But then it brings me to saying that I love kids. And then, in as much as I was trying to talk about Mary Slessor, and then everybody said, oh, let's switch it. Let it not just be about Mary Slessor alone. Now let's put twins at the back, and then the coral beads representing the Oshun, of course, from Oshun State, and then, I'm not from Oshun State rather, but then talking about the Oshun culture.
You're talking about.
Ooh, okay, all right. So we had to, there was so much going on, the calabash. If they had allowed, maybe I would have put fire and then smoke coming out to depict so much more. But then it was too much for me. I mean, that outfit alone was, it fit into an entire old box. So that was like excess. But then, someone said yesterday, Mercy, how did you get on that stage and you were being so dramatic and nobody saw that coming? And I'm like, well, it feels like the outfit has its own life.
Because I was going to say, how long did it take you to prepare? You know, you had this traditional movement alongside, and it was just like, I knew you before, right? But
and then you're seeing someone else
on stage was like, no, this looks like the Ibeji spirit is already in me. So what's going on?
Well, like I said yesterday, where I was speaking with some persons, and I said I would really love to have twins. So maybe the Ibeji spirit actually came through, and then at that point it was just like, oh, this is Nigeria, I'm carrying Nigeria as a whole, this is not just about me. And then something motivated me right before I climbed that stage. I didn't even realize that some of my closest friends, I have 2 twins.
Wow.
Yeah. So I didn't realize that until, I knew they were twins, but then after we posted the clips before we went on stage, and then everybody was just going, oh my God, as a twin, I'm happy someone is actually talking about us because we're so underrated in Nigeria. And then it brought so much tears to my face, and I'm like, okay, this is what I wanted to prove. I wanted to put Nigeria on the map. And then a lot of persons didn't know all of our cultures and traditions. For some people, you give birth to twins or Peter and Paul, that's just it for them. Nobody knows how much struggle we had to go through in Nigeria to be able to say, let the twins live. So I feel like that was the message we're trying to pass across.
But honestly, how did you cope amongst other contestants in the world out there?
I would say it was my first time on an international stage, but trust me, the set of girls this year, they were the it girls. Let me use that word. I mean, they were beautiful, they were bold. You needed to see us.
Just as you.
Yeah, the intelligence round. Some person spoke and I'm like, I'm on a wow, let me use the Nigerian language. And I'm like, I shall not just pack my bag and start going on. They were impeccable. I mean, we had lawyers, we had engineers. Miss USA, she's a lawyer. Miss Canada is a doctor, I think a surgeon, practicing one at that. So we had not just any woman there. We had impeccable ladies that they were focused, goal-oriented. They knew why they came there. So it wasn't a battle of, oh, just beautiful face and nice dresses.
True.
We had the battle of intelligence. Of course, I made top 12 for the intelligence round, the national costume, the evening dress. And trust me, we had too many interviews because they don't just want a queen that embodies the beauty and the dress. They want something up there.
That's now beginning to sound like beauty. I mean, pageantries now transcends beyond just looking good, but also comes to what you do, who you stand, what you stand for, and your kind of person. But now let's talk about, you're now the Peace Ambassador, Miss Aura International.
Okay.
Yes. How do you intend to use this voice, you know, subsequently, in a world where there's so much chaos, where we have insecurity here and there? How do you intend to, you know, bring in this peace, this peaceful message, especially to young girls who are probably watching and looking up to you as well?
Okay, I would like to state that I'm sure you probably know about it, but 2023, I started something off with one of our former colleagues, Chidinma. Most times we share energies.
Of course.
Yes. And I said again yesterday. Like something I would always tell people, every drop in an ocean from you and I, it's a contributing factor to making the ocean bigger. So I feel like if I have a voice, you have a voice, and then when you check around, you look at that IDP camp, you wouldn't want it to happen to anyone around you. Yes, it has happened to those people. It's quite unfortunate. But then if we all learn to speak up, look at what is happening in Kenya today. I mean, there's just so much going on in the world, and it feels like, oh, it's the perfect time to not just speak up about this. There's little to what we can do. Of course, I can't go to the war front and start saying ceasefire and all of that. But then I feel like everyone's voice would actually go a long way to know that, yes, we deserve a peaceful world. world, and not just that, look at the ripple effects, the repercussions of what happens after most of this war.
And I wanted you to also take the chance to probably speak to the heart of most states in Nigeria at the moment, like Benue, Taraba, most of those places. As Ms. Ora International Peace Ambassador, you have a voice, and this is a platform for you to actually extend your warm wishes to those people, your condolences to them. I want you to take the opportunity to do that, at least in a minute or two.
Okay, thank you very much for that, Olamide. My heart reaches out to Benue, Taraba, not just Benue and Taraba. There is so much insecurity going on in Nigeria right now, and then it feels like that's the order of the day. And I would like to say, if you're watching from any of the states, don't give up. I know it's easy to say don't give up when the insecurity is just right at your doorstep, and it's not just happening in those zones. Look at what happened in Abuja, I mean, a few days back, where they were robbed and all of that. I'm not just going to talk to people that stay there. I would like to even employ security outfits. I'm sure in a few days' time I'm going to be meeting with some of the service chiefs and to speak more about this. But then I'd like to employ them. I know they are doing a lot, but then we cannot settle for less right now. We can't be mediocres. I want them to do more, because whether we like it or not, every life matters, every life counts, and then a peaceful world would even go a long way. We have too much things going on in the world right now. Look at the economic recession, the inflation, everything is just going on. So I feel like the barest minimum we can have right now should be peace.
I like that. So your final words to young girls who look up to you, looking at some of the things that you went through, the challenges you experienced, and what you would advise going forward.
I would always tell everybody, the bane of my existence is God. It is not a pushover for me. It's not an option for me. I would say hold on to God whatever you do, because at first I thought, oh, it was just normal for them to deny my visa, and then yes, I prayed, the minister came through and I was able to get my visa, but then the same thing happened to someone else in Ghana, Miss Supranational Ghana, and then she didn't get her visa, she didn't get to travel. So I'm only standing here and speaking with this crown and this sash because of God's grace. So like I always tell people, I mean, a lot of girls have reached out to me and I tell them, put God first in whatever you do, because if you don't put him first, you're just going to be doing everything you're doing all by yourself. And there's a difference between when you do it all by yourself and when God's grace backs you up. So I'd just like to say, put God first, work hard for it. Prayer is not enough. You're not going to pray and sleep in your room and expect that manna will fall down from heaven.
Of course.
Pray. And now I'm talking now and it feels like, yes, apart from the fact that I'm a broadcast journalist, even as a broadcast journalist, I still have to go for public speaking classes, because it's different when you speak on the pageant platform. You're speaking to the heart, you're speaking with emotions. But then being a journalist, you have to speak politics, and of course that's my forte, and that's all I talk about. So it transcends just prayer. You pray, you work hard, public speaking class, catwalk classes, and then not just that, be kind, be empathetic. The world we need more of kind persons in the world right now. That's all I can say, because with the war going on and people's mental health literally hanging by a thread, it doesn't cost anything to just be kind. That's all I'll say.
I love that. It's a very good place to anchor it. Be kind, be empathetic to the next person right beside you. Thank you so much, Miss Ora International Queen Ambassador.
Thank you, Lavie.
Thank you so much for your time today. It's a pleasure to have you in the studio.
Yeah, thank you so much.
All right, viewers, I'm sure you enjoyed yourself. Thank you so much for being a part of the show today. I'll see you again later. I am Olamide Alhassan, and that's bye for now.
a dream that one day...
Do you also have a dream in filmmaking?